The lovely city of Brașov, Romania. We're delighted that you're here. I'm normally from Seattle and going on kind of an extended stay here in Romania because our daughter just gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. So yours truly is a grandfather for the first time and loving every minute of it. So with that, off we go. I'm going to get the share started here and then we will get right into this. So the first thing I want to cover is trading is risky, and that's probably not the optimum message, in a sales presentation, sales and marketing presentation, but it is, and it's important to get it out there because a lot of people come in with the expectation level, that they're going to make a huge amount of money, but they're then shocked that there's risk involved with making that money, and there is risk involved. Anytime you're making returns that are really, really good returns, inherent with that is there is risk. And I won't read this to you. I would encourage you to take a picture of this slide. But the key point is underlined right at the bottom. Never risk funds you cannot afford to lose. And always look to withdraw your initial risk capital as soon as it is earned, de-risking, we call that. So anything after that you receive is pure profit. So that this is a very, very important idea. In other words, you may do that more quickly. If you have very low risk tolerance, you may take a little while and have compounding work for you, so that you can more readily get the return of your capital. I'll get into how you can do that, but this is a very important topic because what we don't want to have is somebody come back to us and say, oh man, I put money in and I really should have used it for the groceries, or I should have used it for the rent or the mortgage payment or whatever it may be. If that's the case, maybe look at being an affiliate with us and earning money, which you don't have to have any money to do. You just have to have drive and hustle. But if you're putting money in and putting it at risk, be aware of the fact that there is risk. Things can happen. I mean, we've got a debt ceiling thing that's going on in the US that could have profound effect on the markets, and it's imminent. So careful, caution is advised. So with all of that, now that hopefully the attorneys are smiling a bit, this is a little bit about me. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Robert Burns. I am an American. I'm here in the country of Romania visiting our daughter. Our daughter, Alexandra, and her mom, Anna, are from Romania originally. My son and I from the US, Robbie. And he's in Montana. Alexandra's in a beautiful city called Braun, where Dracula's castle is with her husband. We're going to be there later today. For fun, I'm into fly fishing and bass guitar and want to do lots more of that, which is why I'm working hard on businesses that create passive income like this one. And I like to invest in real estate. I like especially Forex and crypto these days, the financial markets, but all of those things, the commonality in all of them is it involves taking money and making more money with that money. In some cases, passive, in some cases, very active, meaning like manual trading, if somebody's into that, which we are. You don't have to be, but if you want to explore that, we've got some really good stuff that we're working on. And then lastly, the concept of internet marketing and team building. I've been doing that since the late 80s, actually. And internet marketing is a term that was coined relatively recently. I was doing it without having that label on it. But that's what I've been involved in for a long time and really like that. I like working with people and I like helping people make money and enjoy better lives as a result. Here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to get into copy trading. We're going to talk about the broker. We're going to talk about withdrawals. And then lastly, how compounding works. And I want to start with copy trading because there's a lot of misconceptions about what that means. Copy trading is something that basically you put money in a trading account and then you have somebody, either a human or a robot, trade into your account. No hands involved on your end. You don't have to do any trading. You don't have to learn any of this gruesome technical analysis stuff. You can just have that trading come into your account, enjoy the benefits of a trading strategy, trading on your behalf, either a human trader or a robotic trader. Excuse me, just one moment. I've got some wicked allergies here and I'm dealing with them. With copy trading, also, how does that work? How do the mechanics of it work? You set up an account, you get your account going on RoboForex. So you get the link of whoever referred you here. You register, you verify. The first step in verification is going over to your email and verifying that email address. Then you send in your ID, you send in your address verification, and voila, you're good to go. Then get together with the person that brought you in and discuss who do you like as a trader. Who are you using? They'll give you, that information. And then you can start copy trading. And the way the copy trading works, almost all of the traders charge some kind of a fee for their copy trading service, meaning they might charge a common one is each week they take 30% of the profit, and then you enjoy the benefit of the remainder. And you'll see some traders where they charge more than that, some charge less than that. So it's up to the trader how they want to do that and how they want to market their service and give incentive to affiliates to refer people to them, the trader. So we'll get into a bit more on that later, but that's the basic mechanics of copy trading. And the central theme in all of it is it's passive. Once it's set up, you can go in and monitor it now and then to your liking. You can do it several times a day. You could do it once a day. You could do it several times a week, whatever you choose. It's your account, and you can just do that as much or as little as you wish. On the broker, what stood out to me about this, and just a quick story. So I'm plugging away one morning, blurry-eyed, drinking my coffee, and I see this good-looking Irishman on his feed, and he has something about this RoboForex. And I said, that's that broker that I already liked. I already had done research about them and already liked them before I met Robert Russell, who's on the call here, my colleague from Donegal, Ireland. And I saw his post and I said, hey, what is this all about? And he sent me some information. As they say, the rest is history. I had already made a decision that I wanted to get an account with RoboForex. He just gave me a bit of a nudge to go in that direction. Here's some of the reasons I liked RoboForex is it's 12 years old, actually a bit older than that, but you'll see all over their branding the number 12. That's because they've been around a while. They have 4.5 million clients in 169 countries. They've won all kinds of awards that are independent awards. They're regulated in the country of Belize. The license that they have there is called the FSC. And they're also part of the Financial Commission, which is an independent arbitration organization that has as its constituents brokers like RoboForex. There's several of them in that commission. And so if there's ever a dispute among any of the member companies in that commission with their clientele, their client has the right, and they can go to the commission and say, hey, I've got a dispute here. If it's with RoboForex as an example, they say, okay, if you have a dispute, that's fine. Bring your issue and let's see what it is. And we will offer the what's the word I'm looking for? The arbitration of that issue. And if you prevail, you can be compensated up to 20,000 euros. So this is a real big statement about RoboForex wanting to play properly and play fairly. What things do they trade? What things are available to you to trade with RoboForex? Cryptocurrencies is one. Stocks is another. Forex, of course, all of the major Forex instruments, and indices is another that's a favorite of many of us on the call and people in our organization, which are things like the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the German 40, which is better known as the DAX, NAS 100, which is the NASDAQ, the top 100 companies, tech companies in the US called NAS 100. And it goes by different names, but on RoboForex, it's a slightly different name, but it's the same thing. It's an indices of those different, those different instruments. Additionally, there are exchange traded funds. There are soft commodities, things like coffee, cocoa, sugar, corn, wheat, soybean, et cetera. There are energies, energy instruments, oil, natural gas, ethanol, et cetera. And then lastly, this is all under trialed. They're being trialed. I really think we need to change this slide because this isn't really on trial at all, this one especially. Gold is an instrument on there that we're really fond of. It's similar to the indices that I've mentioned on the previous slide, and it has lots of volatility. So if you're got a good trader that's good at trading gold, they can make you quite a bit of money with that instrument. And some specialize just in that particular instrument. Again, the accolades are prevalent. I won't read all this stuff to you, but you can check them out on your own, and you'll discover that, yes, they really are very well thought of. Now, what I want to get into now is information on the traders. And the traders that we have here, again, some of the traders are human. Some of the traders are robots. It just depends on what your preference is. I want to emphasize again, trading is risky. Never risk funds you cannot afford to lose. I'm just going to hit that point very quickly again, because it's important. It really is important to heed that. Now, what do we look for in a trader? And before I get into this criteria, know this: Robert Russell, myself, and other leaders in the organization, we all trade money with these traders. So if the trader does a poor job, we're not happy. If they do a good job, we are happy, and then we're much more inclined to refer that trader to others. But know this: we're keen on trader performance, because it's not just giving that trader out to somebody, it's our own money that is either doing better or doing worse. And I say all that because it's the right motivation. When we're talking about a trader, this is one we're using ourselves, and we want to make sure, for that reason, an obvious reason, that they're good. What do we look for? We look for stop losses that are tight. We look for drawdowns that are low. Past performance is not a certainty with what they're going to do in the future, but it gives you some indications about how they do things. What is their win ratio? Do they have a Telegram channel that you can interact with and ask questions? What is their total number of trades? How many people do they have trading with them? That's often a pretty good index. And there's another one, which is assets under management. They used to have that publicized on RoboForex, and there was one that was so dominant. We're going to talk about him in a little bit. Robert will tell you a little bit about some exciting news. There was a German trader that was so dominant that his numbers were just dwarfing everybody else's, and it was for good reason. He was a very capable trader. He had $60 million assets under management, 18,000 subscribers. I mean, just crushing it. And more about that in a minute. Here's an example of a trader. Okay, here is a trader that in this case is a robotic trader. And this trader overall at this point in time, this was as of early May. This slide, somebody put their MyFX book together on April 13th. And by May 4th, they had earned 19%. Not a bad outcome. That's 0.84% per day. That's 19% monthly. Pretty good. So, somebody put in 29. This actually is an account called a Pro Cent account. And even though that looks like $29,000, it's actually 29,000 pennies. It's actually $291. So the unit of measure here is a penny, but the return and the percentage is what matters. They had made on that 29,000, 5,497 in profit. They paid a little bit of interest. So they had this person, I'm sure, that has used this trader has a smile on their face. Here is another example. This is of a human trader that we're very fond of. He is getting a monthly return of 7.59% from April 4th until May. Some up and down. Excuse me. Recently, you start to see these numbers and the graph look like that, and that puts a smile on people's face very quickly, because he took a hit right here on some trading, but look at this, right away, turned it right around and went right up in the direction that we all want to see. Here is a graph that is the kind of graph you want to see on traders. What you don't want to see is a white, like a tooth mark in the middle of this chart, indicating that the trader had a loss there. Little losses are fine, like a little tiny dip down and then back up. But if you see great big bites out, that's something that is a cause for concern. We don't like that. Here is that same robotic trader that I mentioned earlier. This is an account with dollars in it. This person started with 1,152. From April 10th until May 5th, they had made a 26% gain on the money, flipping along at 0.89% a day. That's a 26% monthly return. This is a trader that there's a lot to like. This actually is a robotic trader in this case. And this tracking mechanism is one we're fond of. This is something called MyFX book. This will show you daily returns, weekly returns, monthly this year, and all kinds of other stuff that if you're very analytical, you'll love this tool because it will give you the good, the bad, and the ugly about every trader. What I'd like to do at this point is I'd like to bring in my colleague, Robert Russell, to describe something he has just, welcome, Oren. He has just discovered something that we're so excited about, and I don't want to steal his thunder. Robert Russell, would you take the baton for a moment?
Hey, Robert, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. And as I say, it's an early morning shout. On Sunday evening, it was late. I got a message from our old trader, David. He gave out a video saying, they're back. Not David's back, but David's going to be the manager. He has 12 traders now underneath him. It's like a beta testing copy trading account. We got this late Sunday night, and unfortunately, against my way, it's going to close tonight again. It's just literally to let the leaders in get their positions, and then in 2 weeks' time, it's going to open out to the whole community. The 12 traders, I went through them all, and what a hard job that we have to pick out good traders. We've got like 5 weeks data on all the traders, and every one of those traders are in profit from 12% up to 50% in a 5-week period. As it says, we all check it, about the drawdowns, one ratio, the trades, the yield. Like, we have risk criteria, and they have to kind of match it. So I have brought it down to 3 traders, maybe 4. I'll watch them now over the next 2 weeks. Then on June the 4th, I think it's June the 4th or the 5th, we will be allowed to bring everybody in on this. And I am super excited. As what Robert Burns says, yesterday, what David has done here, it's very intelligent. And the more I think about it, it is. Because if you know David, he does like Forex education. He's very big into it. He's teaching hundreds and hundreds of students to learn Forex. So these guys have came from his education, and they're now going to trade for a big, big community in RoboForex. So there's no way that he wants these traders going out and not performing, because it does not look good for his education. But as I say, guys, exciting times ahead. The traders we've got Nick, we have the bot, we have great traders as it is. And all we're going to do is add better to this if we can, and track these traders, making sure they're performing day in, day out. As it says, Robert says, guys, our money's here as well. They're not performing, they don't stay.
And so he is monitoring them, and he obviously has a vested interest in their success because it's reflective of his education. In other words, if they don't do well, that doesn't look good for him. Also, one of the concepts that's really critical here is, well, with anything, but especially here, is that you have diversification. In other words, if you have one trader and they're an outstanding trader, but they have a bad hair day, you've got 100% bad hair day. Versus if you have 3 traders, one trader has a bad hair day, the other 2 probably won't. If you have 4, you have a 25% bad hair day. You get the idea. If you have 10, you have a 10% bad hair day if one has a bad day. Now, I'm not sure that we're going to advocate that all 10 as somebody signs up for, maybe. And I think the number that I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Robert, was $200 per trader. So about a $2,000 number would be.
Yeah, that's kind of like, he wants it at $200, but the minimum is 100, but it's kind of 200 because I've been watching them, what kind of trades they're doing, their lot sizes. So I'd recommend, as what David says, $200 per account.
Okay. So when again is this going to be available?
This will be available in 2 weeks. Whoever my leaders would have got the link last night, they will get in today, hopefully, and they can see what's happening for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll open it up again then for everybody. Okay.
Very good. And I do have those, and I will take care of that today to ensure that I'm in there. Most excited about this, guys, because the track record that David has spoke for itself. He had a situation, I'll just say it. He had a situation where he was just crushing it and people were trading with him and they changed their proportions in some cases to too much. In other words, they didn't have 1-to-1 proportion with his trading. They had 2-to-1, 3-to-1, even as high as 5-to-1. And he had a loss one day. He had an 11.5% loss. Now, normally this guy would have turned that around in a week and a half tops. But because somebody ratcheted up their proportion, that 11.5% loss that he had got translated to a 55 to 60% loss. And these people went nuts. He was very transparent. Here I am in my place in Dubai. Here's my restaurant in Dubai. And they threatened him. They threatened he and his family. And he said, enough, I don't need that. So what he did, I thought, with this process that Robert was describing was brilliant. He regrouped, and now he's put together this cadre of traders, this pool of traders. Common theme in all is we will never know who any of them are. He learned from that mistake. Maybe one of the traders is him. Who knows? Don't know. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's one number, I won't even mention that on the list who it is, but boy, those numbers look suspiciously and they look suspiciously familiar and really good. So, there's one that the number is, again, stop me where I'm incorrect, but we saw one, I think yesterday, that was 32.5% in 4 weeks.
Yeah, we have one I checked this morning. I went through them again, 52%. So there's a lot to like there. More on this later. I know we're teasing you a bit, but this is something that we're very excited about because this trader, David, that we mentioned, when I came aboard, he had 4,000 clients, 4,000 subscribers. Within 2 weeks, that number had doubled. Within another 2 weeks, it had doubled again. I mean, it was just insane production. At their peak, he had 18,000 subscribers and $60 million at least assets under management. So a lot to like. And also just something to mention on this, if you have skills yourself, okay, as a trader, or you're interested in learning those skills to become a better trader, a manual trader, that's not the central focus of what we're up to today, but just as a sidebar, there's an opportunity for you here. If you want to trade and you want to trade on behalf of other people, you can do that. Just like these guys are doing that. And if you've got skills, there's a platform here that is terrific. It's way better than the PAM stuff that's out there, in my opinion. So enough on that. We'll get back into the presentation and bring this in for a landing. Let me get there. And what we'll do, by the way, at the end is I'll stop the once we're done with the presentation, then we get into a Q&A if you guys have any questions on anything we just went over, or for that matter, anything else. Let me get this on the screen here. And here we go. Okay. One of the key things that is an indication of the validity of this broker is how many different ways, keep in mind, they're in 149 countries, I think was the number. Let me just double check that, make sure I'm not lying.
169.
169. Thank you very much, Eric. See, your memory is better than mine. In many countries, in most countries, you have Visa and MasterCard available, India being an exception in that case for whatever reason. Just found that out the other day. But most countries have Visa and MasterCard. Many countries have crypto available, so you can deposit in crypto and you can withdraw in crypto. And then there are other financial instruments like Revolut, like AstroPay, like ADV Cash. I'm not even sure what some of those are. There's a lot of flexibility with getting your money in and your money out. Okay, so that's something to be clear on. These are some examples of our colleague Robert Russell, who's on the call today. You just heard from him, where he was showing examples of doing this very thing. Here's some crypto withdrawals. Here are some bank transfers, like wire transfers. Here's Visa, MasterCard. So you can see the full gamut of possibilities right here from Robert Russell's own transactions, showing you that this is not just theoretical. Here it is actually in practice. Now, what I want to get into now is a very fun, quick segment that will give you an idea about, if you've never looked at compounding, I'm going to send out a tool to you that is the one that I'll be using, so you get a copy of this and you can see it. This is a compounding calculator, and it's a very simple one to work. And guys, here's the thing: compounding is math. That's all it is. It's not a theoretical thing. It's just pure hard math. And what I'm going to show you, the rates that I'm going to show you, I'm not representing that you're going to get these rates. I'm going to show you these rates because they define how the compounding works and the length of time that it takes. Okay. But what I want you to contemplate is, what is your initial capital? What is the rate that you want? And now keep in mind, daily rate, not a month, not a weekly rate, not a monthly rate, not an annual rate, a daily rate of compounding, which you get the very best results with the higher the frequency. Okay. And then what is the length of time you want to compound? Those are the things that we're going to contemplate. And then you see the link I just sent out in chat. So you have access to this calculator. Click that link before you exit the Zoom today, and then you'll have it on your web browser and you can play around with this. I'll show you some of the basics of this tool. Okay, here we go. Here is the calculator. So what I want to do, I'm going to put in $1,000. And what I want you to also contemplate is, you can with most traders, you can start with as little as $100. Now, the rate that you get will be the same if it's $100, $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, $1 million. The rate will be the same. The question is the number meaningful? On a $100 account, for most people, the kind of return that you'd get on a $100 account, while it may be a good percentage, it wouldn't be a meaningful number necessarily. So you have to go through that period of, let me test the water. Let me see how this does. Let's see how this performs. And then somebody puts the actual amount of money that they want to expose, and have the risk exposure to, but they also are going to enjoy a much more meaningful return as that number gets bigger. Let me start here I'm going to start with 0.89%. We saw that on one of the traders there. That number will go up and down. I'm not representing that you're going to get this number. I'm just showing you an example. Okay, now, so I've got $1,000. I've got 0.89% daily. This is key, not weekly, monthly, or annually, daily for a year. And now here's another critical piece of information. Do you want to include all days of the week? No, not on most trading. You want to have 5 trading days because it's Forex. It's only during business days that it trades. Now, if you're trading crypto, you might add these two. On that particular computation. Now I'm going to say reinvest 100%, and this is going to be for a year. So at 0.89%, $1,000 over a year, what do you think the number will be? Go ahead and type that in chat before I hit the enter button. What do you think that the outcome will be in a year? At 0.89% return per day, $1,000 to start. What do you think it's going to look? What's that $1,000 going to turn into in a year if you were able to achieve like clockwork 0.89% a day? Over 20K, says Chris. 2K, says Carrie. That's quite a range right there. Anyone else? Okay, I will push the button. Here is the answer, ladies and gentlemen. That would turn into 10K. Wow. Now, let me ask you a question. You guys are from a number of different countries around the globe. If you went to your bank and said, "Hey, I'd like to put $1,000 in my account," and what is the return going to be? Do you think that they'd say 919%? I joke. Now, in fairness to the bank, you also are taking a lot more risk here to earn that kind of a percentage. The theory with the bank is that you don't have a lot of risk. With some American banks recently, that got called into question pretty painfully. But, this is a much higher risk. So in fairness to the banks, it's not a fair comparison. But $1,000 turns into 10. Now, what I want to show you is the power of just a slight change in this number So you have a reference point now at 0.89%. What if we just simply said 1%? What do you think the difference is going to be now? Instead of $10,000, what do you think the number will be if you know that 0.89% would generate $10,000? What do you think 1% is going to generate? Anyone?
Should be a few more thousand.
7 more, says Oren. A few thousand more, says Eric. 13, says Chris. Okay. I feel like I ought to have the rim shot and the drum roll here. Okay, here we go. Here is what a difference of 0.11%, okay, between the two. 13.5. Somebody came very close. Who's that, Chris? 13, yeah. Good computation, Chris, especially if you did that in your head. You're better than I am. 13,000, a 1,255% return. The traders that we just mentioned, some of whom are getting this number after they take out their 30% fee, because many of the traders out there, a common one, not 100%, there's traders that take more, there's traders that take less out of the profit, but a lot of the traders that we like will take 30% of the profit as their fee. And then if an affiliate brings the client, they split that 30% with the affiliate. But the point is the client pays 30%. They keep 70% of what the trader earns. They're only paying, by the way, when there's a profit. But if they got a 32% return, let alone a 50% return in a month, a 30% return, if you take off 30% of that, that's 1/3 approximately. You'd still have a net of 20%, which is 1% per trading day. This is a number that people are achieving. Am I saying you're going to achieve it? No, I'm saying you might. Depending on the trader you choose, there's some variables in here, but is it possible? You bet it is. There are people that are achieving it. So that's an important thing to make, to make this real. And you can also do something here, which is very, very important to do. We talk about de-risking. How do you de-risk? Well, in this case, you see the earnings starting with $1,000 month. The rest of May, at this rate would earn $61. So you'd have $1,061.52 at the end of May. In June, you'd earn $259.77. You'd have $1,321 starting in July, and so on and so forth. Now, right here at the end of August, using the same computation, you would have doubled your account in approximately 4 months. So with that, remember we talked about the sooner you can get your money back out. You put in $1,000 in May 23rd, let's say today, and then by August you have $2,000. If you took 1,000 of that out, you've gotten the return of your initial investment. You've gotten the return of your principal. You've gotten the return of your seed money, whatever you call it. The point being, you have completely de-risked at this point, other than the time investment here. So from that point on, if you left the profit in and you're then starting over, if you will, with $1,000, but it's not your capital, you got that back. You're starting with $1,000. That is the profit you earn. From that point on, every nickel, every dime, every shekel, every rupee you get is yours, and it's not putting any money of yours at risk. Now you can do that this way and let it compound for 4 months, or you can say, no, I want to take it out as I go. I'm super conservative. The maximum amount that you can take out is 95% on this calculator. It doesn't go to 100%. You do have to reinvest a little bit, in this case, 5%. So you can learn how to use this number to do what I'm about to do. So I'm taking out 95%. I'm leaving in 5. Calculate. And you'll see here, this would take longer to do. In other words, to get your $1,000 out, it's probably somewhere down in here. Cash out, here's 260, 460, 680, somewhere between September and October if you took it out as you went. And then you end up with a balance of $1,000 here. Voila, there is your starting capital from that point. And then you probably, many people would want to change this back to reinvesting the majority of it so that they're compounding more powerfully. if you take all of it out, you're hurting the compounding. Play around with this calculator. It's just math, guys, but it's something that, Albert Einstein labeled compound interest as the eighth wonder of the world, and old Albert was right. It is just wicked powerful.
Robert,
So,
put it at 2 years for a second.
Okay, my man. That number is, I'm going to go back to 100% here, because if somebody is okay putting $1,000 at risk for a period of time, you'll see the impact also of time and how this works geometrically. I'm glad you did that, Eric, as a suggestion. 2 years. No, wait, let me go back to 1 year. Okay, we see 182 there on 1 year. On 1 year, it was pretty good. It was like 13, if I recall. Right? In other words, right here, 13,005. At Eric's behest, he wants to see what this looks like in 2 years. So 13.5, keep that in mind at the end of 12 months. Same on everything else, but the time frame, 182K. Your grand turned into 182,000 in 2 years. That's why this is popular. I know that comes as a great shock, but where are you going to make that kind of return in that period of time? Most places you won't. You do have risk. That this is mitigating risk by trying to be very thorough and do your due diligence about trader selection. We're in it with you. In other words, if the trader doesn't do well, we get hurt with the traders we recommend, or we benefit. We're keenly interested in trader outcomes ourselves. But you can see, and the other thing that you can do with this, I'm just going to do this because it's just fun really quickly. Let's say that you get to your $1,000 turns into 100 grand. Let's say that takes until the end of February 2025. Okay. And then at that point you say, you know what? I want to see what that looks like if I started taking out half of the money at that point. I want to take out 50% and reinvest 50%. What does that look like? What does my lifestyle look like? Well, here's your cash out column right here. So, I didn't change the date in the interest of time, but the computation works the same. At that point, you're earning $11,950, $12,000, $15,000 that you're putting in your pocket and doing whatever you want with it, to the tune of $1.2 million over the next 2 years. Your account, by the way, along the way, this column is showing you what's going into your deposits, your reinvestment amount, and your account balance is out here. Look at this. By 2 years out from that date that you have 100 grand, you've got $1 million. And you're clipping along, generating 190, 222,000 in profits per month, and splitting them up, part of 50% going to reinvestment, 50% into your wallet. This is the stuff that when people really play with this calculator and understand what this means, wow. Very, very significant, powerful stuff financially. Okay, back to the presentation, and we'll bring this in for a landing. So what I just showed you, I went over copy trading. I talked about the broker and how withdrawals work and how you can get your money out and in and all of that, and then how daily compounding works. What I'd like to show you now is we have a class every Monday that Robert Russell leads, which is a master class. It will show you the mechanics. This is intended for people that are on board and want to get plugged in and get everything sorted. Okay, that's what this is about. And he's going to go over this coming Monday, a lot of discussion about the traders and what we've been experiencing, because we will be experiencing it by that point in time, the new traders. Also on Wednesday, there's a webinar just like this one. Takes place at 8 p.m. GMT. So if you have prospects that missed out today, put them in front of my colleague, Robert Russell. He does a great job, and he will be doing that at 8 p.m. GMT. This event that you're in today, this one will repeat each week. It's 9 a.m. GMT each week. And then on Saturday, we have one at 4 p.m. GMT. In fact, we changed the time on this one, Robert, did we not, to the same time that we're doing this one?
Yeah, that'll be 9 a.m. GMT.
Yes, I've got to get some new slides. As you can see here, you and I will get together on that. But make sure not to make note of this. Make note of 9 a.m. GMT on Saturday. And just like this one, it's two parts. We do a presentation, and then we have a follow-up to help people get started immediately, at the same time. If you do like what you see, you're a guest here today, make contact with the person that referred you right now. Go get their link and we can help you enroll literally right on the spot here once we finish the Q&A. Now into the affiliate and partner program, then we'll bring this in for a landing. This guys is a really cool aspect of this. Not for everybody. It's optional. You don't have to be an affiliate. You don't have to refer people at all. You can just simply enjoy the copy trading. And if that's all you want to do, we love you. I mean, no worries. But if you choose to do this, know that it's straightforward. It works. You can withdraw your money at any point, and it's your money. So you can withdraw it. You can put it into your accounts and have it further add to the compounding. Completely your choice. You can do half that you withdraw and half that you put into compounding, whatever you want to do. It's your money. You don't have to ask anybody. No payout limits, daily payments if you wish. In fact, multiple times a day. I know that Robert Russell has tested that theory, doing multiple withdrawals in one day. No deal restrictions. In fact, with withdrawals, by the way, the first and third Tuesdays of the month, you get absolutely no fees whatsoever. So if you are going to, fairly periodically do withdrawals, you might choose those days because you don't have to pay any fees. No bonus restrictions, 24/7 support, and then really, really good analytics. There's 4 ways that you earn here, and there's really 5 that I'll get into, but I'm going to show you 4 here until we update this slide. The first one is how much money are you making from the trading by copy trading from others, either humans or robots. Number 2, when you refer somebody, you're paid on the profit that the trader earns, a portion of that profit that the fee that the trader charges. Additionally, you're paid on the fees that the broker charges, 5 levels deep on this, and then a bonus that happens monthly on that same money that you earn. Let me give you an example. Let's say you this is after you've tested the water and now you're clipping along, and you like these new traders that David is managing and others that we're using. So you've gone through your initial testing phase. You're now saying, okay, I want to put some real money, on the table here to get meaningful results. $5,000, let's say. And let's say that you earn 23% in a month. I'm not representing that you will, but you might, depending on the trader that you use. And for this example, this is just the one that we chose. That would be $1,150 in gross profit. You've agreed to pay the trader 30%. So you take 30% of that number off the top, meaning multiply it times 0.7, and you have an $805 net. You've paid the trader, you have 805 more bucks. Your account starts trading the next month at 5805. Compounding working. Now, let's say that you have some friends and they say, well, how did you get in? And you show them what you did and they do the same thing. 5 of them come aboard with $5,000. You have $25,000 assets under management on your team. You multiply that times the same 0.23 if you referred the same trader in my simple example. You have a $5,750 gross profit that your team has earned on their trading. They agreed to pay that trader the 30%. That is $1,725 to the trader. In this case, this trader split that with you. He gets $862, or she does, and you get $862 also. This is your money paid from the trader, and you can withdraw this. You can put this into your account to further compound. You get the idea. You have complete latitude with that. The other part of this that's real cool that I alluded to is that there are 5 levels that you're paid on as a percentage per level that you get paid. This is on the broker fees, meaning the spread and other things that the broker charges for. They share the love. And these numbers right here, I was kind of dismissive of this when I first came in, and I was wrong. Robert, I'm gonna ambush you here, but 2 days ago, you shared something with me, and I'll be candid, I was kind of stunned. What was the number that you earned from that 5-tier part of the compensation plan 2 days ago?
It was $1,000.50.
$1,050.
Yeah.
And that was 1 day's worth of income.
1 day. Yeah.
Now, you're not averaging that, but that was a new high water mark, right? For 1 day.
Yeah.
He's only a couple months ahead of me, and he's only a couple of months ahead of you. No matter who you are or where you are, you can do what Robert's doing. I had a high water mark of $326 1 day. My team isn't as big as Robert's. It's, I'm not as old as he is in Robo Forex, but is it possible to do that? Yes. He puts his pants on one leg at a time, I'm pretty sure. And everybody here can do the same thing. If you want to really get into this and you want to really build a crew, there's a bright future here, and it's a long-term future because the broker is good and we're committed to getting the trading so that people are going to make a lot of money and enjoy the benefit of what we have here. So I think that's such a powerful story, and that's just this particular component. Additionally, if you've earned on this 5-tier part of the plan right here, if you've earned between $100 and $500, you're going to get an additional 10% bonus at the beginning of the next month. In this case, the maximum would be $50. Here's Robert. He's right in the middle right here. Now we know one day he earned $1,000. So he's clearly in this, his number is considerably higher than that for a month. But just on his $1,000, he's going to earn a $150 bonus, let alone whatever other revenue he generates from these 5 tiers in that period of time. You can earn up to $4,500 from this second tier. Here, you're in pretty rarefied air. You're getting a $6,000 bonus every month or larger, and it's when you have more than $30,000 in income from the 5-tier plan. Robo Forex likes you a lot. They're paying you a lot. And, as you can see, you get a nice monthly bonus. Affiliate example, I think that one I just gave you is a darn good one. Robert is just crushing it, and a good leader and a great model to follow. He does everything. I mean, I think very highly of this gentleman, and he and I talk regularly and candidly about things that we like and we don't like, and that's daily business. So what I just showed you, it is simple. It works. You can add it either to your trading account, you can withdraw it, you can add it to your compounding, your choice. At this point, what I'd like to encourage you to do is to get together with the person that enrolled you here. If you have enough information to make a decision, get their link and we'll help you get started. It's really a simple process to do, and we can help you do that immediately when we're done with the Q&A, which we're going to get into right now.